What's up, guys? Hybrid Mongoose here, and welcome to another episode of the Hybrid Mongoose podcast. And it's been a long time since I put out a podcast. I've only done a couple. One initial one, one with Master Chi, and also now this one. So this is my third one. This is something I definitely want to do and keep doing. This is the first video podcast that I will be doing, which is going to be really cool. I will have a special guest, but before we get into this video, I want to give a quick shout out to my man jkim.net, or jkim as he is known. You guys should check him out. Really, he just got featured in Pokemon Go Hub's article on YouTubers you should follow. And the reason I am shouting him out right now is because not only does he do great content, but his subscriber count is annoying me. I'll be honest. He put out recently on Twitter that he was going to do a 4,000K subscriber Q&A, which I was, I asked the important questions. But he's been stuck at 3,978 subscribers forever. So guys, let's get him to 4,000 subscribers. It's annoying me. Just go there and subscribe, okay? And also, he just recently missed out on getting tickets to Pokemon Go Fest 2018, which just so happens to be the actual focus of this podcast today. And he's really bummed out. So let's get him to 4,000 subscribers, and so he can do that Q&A special, all right? So without further ado, welcome my guest, my special guest, Famous from FLW Videos. Welcome, Famous, to the Hybrid Mongoose podcast.
What is up, everybody? Very excited to be here. We have a lot to discuss.
Yes, definitely. And our topic of today is Go Fest 2018. A lot
maybe it's Don't Go Fest. I don't know. It depends on if you got a ticket or not, right?
Right. And the way that it was worded, I'm going to start out by saying this. The way that it was worded made it sound like that you were going to have to register your gamer tag when you were going to buy a ticket. And I was like, oh wow, they're really going to do something to stop scalpers this year.
Wow, they're going to make an improvement, not make the same mistake again.
Right, but as you know, and we all know that that's not true, you have to register like 2 weeks after you buy the ticket, which now gives scalpers the opportunity to go, hey, I'm going to sell these before the 2 weeks, and then in 2 weeks you give me your gamer tag, and boom, their tickets are yours. So they could still sell them without anybody really knowing, So it's really disappointing, because there was a lot of friends that I had, maybe a lot of people too, Famous, that did not get a ticket and, is going to miss out on all of this.
Yeah, I would say that's something that's kind of like ironic in some ways, is that a lot of the larger YouTubers in the Pokemon Go community did not even get a ticket. Like, they couldn't even get one. And it's just like, that's honestly one of the best things that can happen if you kind of look at it from a higher level, because you have people who have the chance to, throw out their voice to the community to say, look, this is a problem. Like, all of us can't even get a ticket. Like, come on, like, what's going on with this? We should have been able to log in, or, at least use your gamer email to register. I would have been fine with that, at least, because
right.
That way, if but I mean, let's be honest, the scalpers, if they know the plan beforehand, they'll be prepared regardless. Like, they'll set up fake accounts. But I don't know.
Right. No, you're right. You're right. And I do know that even though, some of the bigger YouTubers said they didn't get a ticket, I can pretty much guarantee
they will.
They're getting a ticket from Niantic or some kind of press pass to get them in. So Mystic 7, Reversal, Geo, and Nick are definitely going to be at Go Fest 100%. Whether they got a ticket or not, I'm positive that they will get a ticket from Niantic in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I think if anything, though, the only thing that I'm like really disappointed with Niantic is the fact that this happened last year, and it's kind of the same mistake. Now, maybe it was alleviated a little bit because it did go to a 2-day event, so there was just more tickets available. So it probably helps a little bit, but that's just a little disappointing, because last year this actually happened to me, and I had already bought a hotel and all of that. And so I just took the risk of showing up without a ticket in hopes that some way, somehow, someone would have a ticket that I could buy from them, and they just wouldn't completely screw me basically when I bought it.
Did you actually do that? Like, did you just show up and go?
I did. I did. Now, a lot of people don't know that, so maybe this would be a good place to say that. Regardless of if you have a ticket or not, it's still a fun event. There's still thousands of people who are outside of the event. Chicago is a great place to actually play Pokemon Go.
Yeah,
Before myself, I
definitely.
literally stood outside the line next to a guy who had a funny sign saying, like, we need tickets and just something else. So I stood by him and just kind of waited. And I ended up meeting someone who was already in, said, hey, one of my friends didn't show up. I don't really know anybody here. Do you just want to buy it from me? I'll just sell it to you for $60.
Hey,
I was like, sure, that's incredible. Like $60. And we'll talk about it later, but you've seen or heard about some of the prices on eBay. We'll talk about that later because I feel like that definitely deserves a discussion.
oh
But
God, yeah.
I showed up, had no intention of if I could get in or not, hope for the best, and kind of got the worst because I did get in, but it ended up being a disaster.
Right, but as you know, did you stay at the last Go Fest? Did you end up staying an extra day or so, or
Yes.
Like, okay,
And so that's something else too.
Yeah.
Have fun with it. The event itself may be a flop. That's fine. It was still fun because they extended the time period out to the next day. Now, it's obviously going to be a little bit different this time because there's going to be a second event during Sunday, but I can promise you there will be thousands of people who are just out playing, having fun. They're going to go do large raid groups. It's going to be a good time. So don't feel discouraged if you don't have a ticket. You can still have a lot of fun, and you still have a chance of being able to get in.
Definitely. You could find somebody who has an extra ticket in line like you did, which is great,
Yes.
so I know I'm planning on staying till Monday for this current, and spoiler alert, me and Famous both got tickets to, Go Fest 2018. We just so happened to pick the same gate as well, like entrance.
Same day.
Same day, so we're definitely going to be hanging out in line. So if you do see us, say hi. But I feel bad for some of the smaller YouTubers that didn't get a chance to go as well, and me. I feel very lucky that I got a ticket, as you probably do as well, because chances of myself getting like a press pass or something is probably super slim.
Well, I think it would be slim. I'll be honest with you. I think it would be slim for me too, because it's almost like how maybe some old school people look at YouTubers, like they think of these old names that aren't necessarily as relevant anymore, but they kind of like hold on to those names. Like it would be crazy. Like if we were to pull up like stats and stuff, I mean, some people don't have the same amount of views as like my channel does, but I can promise you they'll more than likely be invited. So I don't know. It's just one of those things. We're probably not going to get invited, but we're still going to have fun. We're still going to meet a lot of people.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to meet Prodigy's Nation, so I definitely plan on that. And New York or Pogo NYC is great. I actually met him last year. So I don't know. I think we're going to have a lot of fun, and it's going to kind of be cool because we're going to get to be with the people. We're not going to be off on this stage or off in this back area, kind of away from everyone. I'm totally down to just meet as many people as possible. So you can bet I would actually prefer to be around people versus, a host or a guest.
Right. And last year I actually got lucky enough to meet Prodigy's Nation and do a raid with him too. So
there you go.
That was pretty cool, because we were doing the raids. I can't remember what it was, but
probably a Lugia raid.
Yeah, and no, it wasn't that. It was actually during Go Fest still.
Oh,
so,
it was during. Oh, yeah. Then you got really lucky if you were able to do a raid during the actual event.
I know. Yeah, I did a couple. I think it was T-Tars. There was a bunch of T-Tar raids, and we were lucky enough to
actually get into one.
Yeah, exactly, and actually do it. So, I mean, a lot of people were real salty over the last Go Fest, but
oh yeah,
I feel. I mean, yes, they did mess up, but I kind of feel like they're gonna knock this one out of the park. There's a couple. There's a couple things that they've done differently that are gonna change things a lot. Number one, it's a way bigger park. This park is like 2 miles long. Okay, it's way bigger. Number two, there's 2 entrances, so the lines are going to be half as long, and it's 2 different days. So as you know, the lines to get in were insane. We had early passes.
Were you in the early access or
Yes.
were you in the normal one?
I was in the early access, but towards the end, and I still had to wait 4 hours, 5 hours to get in.
Yeah,
So
this is okay. Maybe we should talk a little. We'll do this kind of like towards the end, but we should talk about like a prep thing, kind of what to expect, what kind
yeah,
of
that's a
happened
good
last
idea.
year.
Yeah.
So I think for now, what you probably came here to talk about was the scalping situation, and we actually have a pretty intense involvement in that. So let's go ahead and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so a friend sent me a picture last night of eBay auctions that are going on, and a lot of people that are that are seeing these eBay auctions are these from these scalpers. They are reporting them on eBay. They are messing with the prices, jacking them up, taking away their bids, canceling. They're messing with it 100%. And I saw on Twitter, it's going to pop up on the screen right now, of a bid amount of like $14,000. like like
That's a good deal.
for two tick it was for two it was for two
Oh,
tickets.
well, at least it was for 2 tickets.
And
Yeah, that makes
and it
better.
had free shipping. It had free shipping too, so that's good.
Oh, that's a nice. Yeah. Wow, they're really setting you up.
I know. So it was like $7,000 per. What was weird is then I went on eBay myself last night, and I know Famous, you said you did as well. I looked last night, and that auction changed to like 5,000, and then it said like 17 hours left. I went to bed last night. I woke up, checked it this morning just out of curiosity, and that one got reported to hell and got taken down because it wasn't 17 hours later. I just looked
Right.
I looked again and it said you missed out on this auction, and I think the reporters, people that are reporting it, are just they are just taking down these auctions.
So something else. You had Prodigy's actually tweet to you saying something
Right.
like they're probably not valid vids, and we'll go ahead and show that on the screen as well. But
Right.
as far as that goes with eBay, they know a legitimate bid versus not, and then also people retract them as well. So what I would imagine was it was kind of a joke where
I think
people
so.
were just trying to make it just a ridiculous amount. And there's kind of two ways to it. One, it's just funny, right? Like, of course,
yeah.
if you don't have to pay it, it's just funny. But then secondly, it kind of brings a lot of attention to it, like something is wrong. And so from that perspective, it's actually a pretty good move because eBay can kind of get some attention from it.
Right.
And something that I would recommend everyone to do if they end up with a couple minutes time, when the tickets first sold, and I got it within it had to have been 5 minutes or so. My timer still wasn't up when I made it to the screen, and I knew someone's going to sell this on eBay because they didn't make us sign in or do anything like that. So I hopped over to eBay and I start seeing them roll in, show up, and they're selling them for $200, $300, $400. And I just went and reported all of them. I shared a tweet back to Pokemon Go saying this is how you report these tickets for basically the illegal resale of a ticket. And I reported like 10 to 15 of them. But here's the thing. Scalping only works if people are willing to pay it. And that's something I would say to you is out of all of them that I reported, nearly 10 of them sold in the next 5 minutes for $300 to $400.
Right.
And I would say, oh my gosh, you've got to be kidding me. You may actually still be able to get a ticket for a normal price, yet some people are so desperate to be able to attend this event that they're willing to spend $300 to $400, and it hadn't even technically sold out at the time. That's ridiculous. What I would recommend you to do is to go to your local Facebook groups, ask people if anyone has any tickets, and maybe people don't have tickets now, but it's possible that someone could back out. It's possible that someone may not be able to go, and they know ahead of time. Just kind of keep your ear to the ground and keep your eyes open if there's some type of opportunity. But you need to go local on this. Going
Definitely.
to eBay is very sketchy to do.
And also Nick, Trainer Tips, he put out a tweet as well, and that's going to pop up on the screen now saying, don't buy from these scalpers in 2 weeks when they can't register a trainer name. Those could be technically released back to be sold. So there's a possibility that all these scalpers that are failing to sell the tickets may actually have to may have them taken away, So, I mean, I know it's a shot in the dark, and that sounds very grim.
Yeah,
still.
but there's no disadvantage to doing that. You have a
Right.
chance to not spend hundreds of dollars in that.
Right.
Do it the official way. And there's literally no difference from you going and trying to buy it from someone now. You still can't register until the email comes out a couple weeks later. So you might as well wait to see if something happens.
Definitely. And I know you're feeling, trust me. If I wouldn't have got a ticket, I would have been very, very salty.
Well, that happened to me last year. So I do understand, and it's very frustrating. But like I said, don't let that stop you from having a good time. If you want to go to this trip, you can still make it happen.
Definitely.
And things just happen. Like, and don't think like, oh, you got a ticket because you were a YouTuber, like people knew you. No, they did not know me. I may have had 3,000 subscribers last year, but I had just kind of like started, and I don't normally put my face on screen a lot. People did not. I had one person know who I was. I didn't get a ticket because of that. So you can definitely have a shot at it, and I would totally recommend you to just go. It's going to be a ton of fun. There's going to be a lot of people there, and there's going to be so many things happening outside of the event, and it's not worth missing out on just because of a little ticket.
Right. And also Holly tweeted, there's lots of tweets in this podcast. Holly tweeted,
it really is, yeah.
Holly tweeted as well that they're doing a meetup, and I actually said keep me in the loop. They're going to try to get all the YouTubers together, big and small, to kind of meet up together in one spot. Probably not, like, what I'm saying is, if you want to meet me, you want to meet Famous, you want to meet Reversal, Trainer Tips, Mystic 7, Holly, you want to meet us, we are trying to coordinate a time probably outside of the event, so you can come by.
We don't want that to be exclusive. We want to meet everyone, and outside of the event is clearly the way to go in that.
Right. So what I'm saying is, if you want to meet us, you definitely will have your chance if you go, ticket or not. So, I mean, you're right. Okay, so when we were ordering for the local thing, check local for your Facebook groups and all that stuff for the tickets, I ended up getting myself a ticket, but my friend Chi, you guys know him from my channel, he did not get a ticket, but one of my friends got an extra ticket.
Exactly.
And we were talking on Facebook and everything, and said that ticket's his, and he was like, "Oh my God, thank you." And my friends are not even trying to make a profit off of it. They're literally
and so many people knew or could anticipate that this was going to happen,
right? And
they purposefully bought an extra ticket, not to scalp, but to literally be able to give to their friends. So just imagine you like going and buying one Go Fest ticket. If you end up being the only person who can go that how much fun is that going to be? If you have friends who would want to go, and you can try to buy an extra ticket or whatever. I would say for myself, like my wife actually tried to get tickets on Sunday, and I tried to get them on Saturday just in case one of us was not able to get one. Then we would still be able to go no matter what. What ended up happening was like the thing kept spinning for her and wouldn't let her buy it. But luckily, I was able to get it. But if I had those tickets, I was just going to give them away, like on my channel. I didn't want to resell them or something like on eBay. That's ridiculous. There's a lot of people who have some really good intentions, who want people to be able to go attend this event, and it's not going to be like scalpers. I can promise you that.
Right. And one thing that they could have fixed, and I hope next year that they do this, is they do a pre-registration where you have to put your gamer tag in, you have to put your valid email in. Everything has to be set up beforehand. And
I would do an email, because this is going to be kind of tricky. I meant to bring this up to you, and this is going to be something kind of cool to talk about.
Yeah,
is the idea that Niantic is banning so many accounts now. They're soft banning so many accounts now. Maybe someone spoofs, and that's the reason, or maybe it's something else. There's been some weird glitches going on too. Like third-party app sign-ins, and then people who've been doing the skip animation with catching Pokemon have received soft bans for catching too many Pokemon too quickly or something as well.
I've never gotten that yet, and I use that a lot.
So Aka mentioned that something happened where some people were reporting that they were getting soft banned, yet they didn't spoof. They didn't sign into third-party apps, and then they kind of like cross-referenced it to say that people who are doing the skip catch animation may have been receiving it because they were just doing it too quickly and too frequently. But anyway, so what's interesting is, what if you have an account that ends up getting banned and you actually do want to play legitimately, like, and the bans are lasting 2 to 3 months? That would mean that you'd go and buy a ticket, you'd register it to an account, the account gets banned, you can't even go and play with it, even if you still wanted to go. I don't know. It's a catch-22. Maybe that's why they're doing it. Maybe not. Maybe they didn't think of that. I don't know. I'm trying to like think of both sides of it.
No,
but
I get you. I get you. And honestly, I hate to say it that way, but if you spoof and you get soft ban like that, that's your own fault. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but
that's true.
Right.
But I'm thinking about it from Niantic's perspective that you don't want to forcibly lose like customers. You want to say this isn't a good option, but you can still play it the normal way. So you're right, but I would imagine from Niantic's outlook, you want to be able to bridge as many people over. And so if someone gets soft banned or something, it's like, dang, well, I guess I don't need to do this anymore. But they love playing the game and they are willing to play it normal. They totally would. But if they got completely cut out, they wouldn't even get the chance.
Right. I mean, I know there's been a big, huge ban wave too recently, and Niantic has been doing some crazy ban hammer stuff going on.
Right.
So, you know,
maybe that was strategic to do it well before this event. But people are getting banned for 2 to 3 months, so that means their summer is done.
Wow,
to me, that doesn't seem like a smart idea from a gaming perspective.
Not a money side, you know. And honestly, I mean, we're getting into another discussion here, but
that's true.
That's okay. No, we can talk about it. I actually like the fact that they've been doing the ban hammer to the spoofers. And hey, if you're spoofing, like I said, I don't have anything against you personally, but if you're spoofing, that shows that Niantic just doesn't care about just the money, right? They want you to play the way the game is intended to be played, because if they just cared about money, they would do nothing to the spoofers. Do you see what I mean? Like they'd be like, they're paying for, they're paying for Pokecoins. I don't care what they do. We're making money. Who cares? So it does show that Niantic does care about that topic, and they don't want people to spoof. But back to the topic of, I still feel like they could have done something more to have people prove that they play the game and only sell it to those people. And yes,
I don't know what the answer to that is.
Right.
The only thing I can think is, instead of doing it this way, maybe you do it in game.
Oh, that's a good
idea. How about that?
That's actually a good idea.
How about that? Let's go with that. Because what's happening is it's introducing a new set of people to this that don't have access to the game, and the only incentive that they have is literally just to go get these tickets and sell it. Now, I'm not saying that doing the in-game thing is going to be perfect, but if you did do it by an account basis, like what Hybrid is suggesting,
right,
you would actually just do it in-game, and you could purchase it that way. Yeah, that makes so much more sense, because then
definitely.
Scalper is completely useless at that point. Oh, they go and make up a fake account. Oh, they go do this. Technically, they could still do that, because if you just want to play Go Fest, spoofers could go buy the account and show up anyways using that registration. But it makes it so much more difficult, and it eliminates how much awareness they have of the event. Like, oh, wait, I had to have an account to actually buy this? That would make it so much more difficult.
Oh yeah, definitely. And they already have our account information for Pokecoins and everything else. You literally could literally buy it in the app
and then put your shipping information on it.
They'd already have all that. Boom. Done. There's your gamer tag. There's your email.
Okay, we solved it.
Yeah.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. Okay. Hybrid and I are going to go corner John Hankey. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to go talk to John Hankey, though, and we're going to say, yo, last year Chicago Fest was a bust, and people were throwing water bottles and stuff. And this year the same thing happened with the scalping of the tickets. Let's just do this thing in game. What do you think about that? We'll try to talk him into it.
I mean, I'd even go as far as being, and this is going to sound elitist a little bit, right? I've been 40 for a long time, so.
Oh God, don't get
on.
No.
I'm not gonna say. I'm gonna say. Well, this is to prevent scalpers from making an account in 4 seconds. I'd say you'd have to be at least level 20 to buy the account. No. You can buy for your son that's like level 15, but the person purchasing the tickets has to be at least level 20 or higher in game. I don't think that's asking for too much. My friends have hit 20 in a day.
Well, then that leads to the discussion that you'd have to have a way to like link accounts to show that they're related to each other. Like, so-and-so has a son who plays level 15, but there's no linkage between the accounts
Right.
except for maybe the
Well,
payment information.
they could also do the registration later too. You know what I mean? So they'd send you an email just like they're doing now, and 2 weeks later you'd register your son's account.
Oh, that's true. You
See
could
it
go
if-
buy it and then register the account
Yeah.
afterward. Okay.
That
I
way,
like that.
This way, spoofers can't just go, "Oh, I made a Pokemon Go account because I just made a fake Gmail."
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. Like,
and then
people just making fake accounts instantly and then just
Yeah.
going and doing it that way.
because
yeah,
you know
that's true.
some scalpers would try to buy the in-game
Oh, they
tickets
definitely
that way.
would, but
yeah,
the more difficult you can make it,
yeah,
the better off it's. Well, let me rephrase this. The more difficult it is made for people who don't even play the game to buy a ticket, the better off we are. Because to us, it's like, oh, so we just go in game and buy it? That's literally nothing. Like, that's actually probably going to be easier than what we had to do.
so
But for
much
scalpers,
easier.
It's going to be 10 times harder because they're like, wait a minute, I got to set up an account. Wait a minute, I don't have an email. Wait a minute, I got to set up an email. Wait, I got to set up my payment information. All of a sudden, it becomes all these steps that they can't do in a quick time period.
Right.
And at least they're going to work for it if they're going to sell the tickets.
Yeah, and the level 20 thing is only just to stop them from making an account in one day and in trying to buy the in-game tickets. So
Right.
yeah,
Right.
so
And that may sound weird, like, well, what if someone's below level 20? So Ingress actually does things like that as well, where you have to be a certain level to submit portals, or in our case, Pokestop. So
right.
they have like level caps that allow you to do certain things. We haven't really seen that in the game, but I do think that that is definitely like a safety measure that could be put into place in the future.
Right, and hopefully next year they do something like this, because that would so stop the scalpers in game.
Big time.
You know, who cares about the level cap that I just talked, or the level requirement? That's just an idea. But the buying the tickets in game is an awesome idea. That is really good because
Okay, well, you heard it here first. So if they do it, we'll look back on this and we'll be like, man, we called it.
Yeah, and so I mean, so problems about last year, that
let's
really,
talk a little bit about that, because we're going to have a little bit of a different perspective.
Right.
We were in two different lines.
Yeah.
You had a ticket beforehand. I did not.
Well,
so let me talk a little bit about that.
Let me talk about the line situation. So once I'll take it. I'm going to take back what I said a little bit. I had an early access wristband, right, that my friends got me. I was in line early, but I was in line 4 hours early before the event started, right? So the event didn't start yet. Once the event actually started, I probably waited 45 minutes. But to get into line that early, I mean, by the time I got in line, it was like all the way around Grant Park almost already, right? It's circling around the entire park, and that park's pretty big, right? So it's not like it's small. So, once the event started, I think it was like 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. I can't remember. It took me about 45 minutes to an hour once the line started moving to get in, which wasn't bad. But the problem is if I were to wait, let's say I waited an hour before the event started, I would be way on the other side of the park.
Yeah, you were kind of near the front end, and you got in an hour late.
What I'm saying is I had to sacrifice my time way early to get into the early access line and then wait for the event to start, which still took forever. So that is one good thing that they did, where they split up the entrances, number one, and also 2 different days.
Yes, that's going to be a massive improvement. And by the way, so when Hybrid's talking about, being in the early access line, guess what? There wasn't an early access entrance. There was the same entrance. So when thousands and thousands and thousands of people sign up for early access, and then they don't even let people in early, what ended up happening was they said, well, they should be able to get in first since they paid more, did whatever they had to do to get it.
Right.
And so Hybrid, like he's saying, he got in an hour later than what he was supposed to, and he was in the early access line, and they wouldn't let general access in until all of the early access was in.
Right. There should have been a different entrance, number one. They didn't plan that out great. And also, so you guys know, in order to get the wristbands last year, my friends had to wait at a Sprint store. So another line. And what was funny is when we first got to Chicago, we knew about this. We saw the Sprint store that was, handing out the wristbands. And when we looked, there was a line all the way out the door. And I was like, no, I'm going to pass on that.
Doing that. And then when you got to Go Fest, you were like, oh, wait, I'll take that Sprint line any day.
Yeah, exactly. Because my friends, 2 of my friends, Melissa and Rob, they waited in line for us to grab the extra wristbands. So I got off kind of easy because I didn't have to wait in that line. You know what I mean? So, but I did help pay for their Uber and everything. And, but yeah, no,
You should have seen the general access line.
yeah, it's,
Oh my gosh. So with hybrid, what he's talking about, wrapping around the park, it wasn't exactly single file, but it was fairly narrow. But when you got over to the general access, it was so long that they had to snake this entire area that it had to have had 30,000 people in it. And then to make it worse, there was only like 1 or 2 water stations throughout the entire thing.
yes.
And I seriously think I got there at like 7 in the morning or so. And I did not get in until 3 p.m.
It was that bad for you?
It was that bad.
Oh
It
my
was that bad.
God. Wow.
And I was kind of near the end of it, and I can promise you, I was super mad about it because it was out in the middle of nowhere. There's no like cover or anything. As you can see, I'm pretty pale. I was not expecting 7+ hours of standing in a line.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Without, being ready for it. And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm in pretty good shape. I'll be fine. There's going to be people though that did not expect that at all. There's going to be people who, maybe have some medical attention needs that they have to have. There's going to be people in wheelchairs. There's going to be people who are older who don't need to be standing outside for 7+ hours before they even get into the event.
Right.
There was no water stations. They weren't selling water, which made me extremely angry.
Oh yeah.
And maybe you know that too. They didn't sell water outside of the event. The only people who did were the go-getter business people who were illegally selling the water, who just came up in carts.
And that brings up a really good tip for this next time. If you are going to be waiting in line, or you're going to Go Fest 2018, I personally had like 5 water bottles in my backpack.
Yes.
No joke.
Water. Bring water. Yes. I did not, and I regret it.
Yeah, bring water, definitely. I had 5 water bottles ready to go. I had water for days in that thing. So I was super prepared. And, I just knew we were going to be sitting out. I didn't expect it to be that hot. Like, it was hot that day, hot and muggy.
Yeah, this is no joke. Like, I am so shocked that we didn't hear by the end of the event that someone passed out or someone got hurt or someone got dehydrated. I'm not going to lie, it was about a miracle for that to happen because the conditions at the time were pretty rough.
Yeah, they were. And the water stations, the lines for them were not too terrible once you got inside.
Inside, it was fine. The only issue, which we've talked about, is no one could get in there. And then when you got in there, I don't get how this happened. There were not a lot of people in there. And we still, I know that Niantic is going to say that, the cell company had an issue of not bringing extra towers and
I'm glad you brought this up.
That's fine. But did you feel like there was a lot of people actually in the event?
So I'm really glad you brought this up because what they said is total bull. Okay. And,
yes.
And the reason why I say that is because there's a theory, and I actually believe this theory, that
let's hear it. I love conspiracy theories.
This one's good and actually have some type of proof to back it up too. So there's a theory that Niantic put up one of those cell phone blockers or signal jammers at Pokemon Go Fest 2017 to stop spoofers. But what in turn happened was it blocked everybody. So what I mean by that is...
That actually is possible. We can go a little technical on it.
Yep.
What they're trying to do is they want people within a certain range to be able to access that range.
Right.
Kind of like a shield in some ways, if you want to visualize it that way, or a perimeter to where like outside cell phone access would not be able to theoretically infiltrate it. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And let me tell you why I think that is actually true. Okay. So at Go Fest, once it got later in the day, I was able to leave, like go out, because like people were like, man, this is not working, probably 4 o'clock or so. I would walk outside. I'd have no signal, no coverage, couldn't log into the servers at all inside the event. It was spotty at best. I would walk outside, go across the street, boom, cell phone coverage. Everything works. I can log in. I'm catching Heracross. I'm catching Unknown. I'm happy. Issue is the very next day, there was like a black hole at Grant Park. I walked by the park the next day when everyone's raiding, and I lost coverage again.
Yes, that's true. It was next to the fountain
yes,
that it was even doing that.
While I was by Grant Park. Now, why would it do that? Why? It's the next day. No one's there. Like, think about it. Like, it doesn't
I am glad I brought it up because a lot of people are assuming, and it's totally right to, that there were too many people in one spot for it to work.
See, I don't think
that park was huge, and there were people, like, for instance, there was a big stage area, and there were, thousands of people there. I would go to the far corner where there'd be 10 people around me. Didn't work.
No, and like I said, that's I believe that they put up one of those cell phone jammers or blockers to block outside traffic from coming in, and they messed up and it blocked everything, because even the next day, the following day, it still had no coverage.
That happened to me too.
Inside of Grant Park. The coverage was still bad. Now, why would the coverage still be bad if there's 4 people by the fountain at Grant Park? That makes no sense. There's nobody in the park. Right? So their theory, or what their excuse is complete bull. Like, and I know it's getting conspiracy theory-ish right now, but I actually believe it. I believe that they put in a jammer or cell phone blocker to block the signal, and it ended up biting them in the butt, man. It twisted on them, and it ended up, someone didn't test it correctly, and that was it. And they were trying to stop the spoofers from getting in, and they just shot themselves in the foot. And nobody can log in. Before the event started, everyone outside, I could get into the game, no problem.
I was too. You know what? I'm thinking about it now, and you're right. So when I was outside of the event, where there were literally more people in line than there was in the event,
right?
I was logged in.
Yes,
I was playing. Even people around me were playing. But when I got into the event, it was just like, nope, that's not happening.
Right, and even there was an Articuno raid, I'll never forget it, a couple streets over from Grant Park, and there were tons of people. And
it was no problem. It's so crazy.
Yeah, it didn't have a problem. There were thousands of people walking around Chicago.
And maybe there is something we don't know about, like they had some type of extra signal related to their communication devices, like having to be up on stage or communicating with each other, that something happened like with that's possible that we don't know about, and it was related to the area just because they had the equipment set up there. I don't know, but at the end of the day, it backfired. And let's just talk about this just for a little bit, but it's a huge moment for Pokemon Go to get this right. This is the redemption time.
Oh yeah,
if they don't get this one right, I'll be the first one to say I won't go to the next one.
Oh, I'm with you 100%. 100%.
I won't do it.
But I do have a lot of faith that they're going to get it right, because number one, they're not going to put that cell phone jammer up like they did last time. And number two, they've already done Safari Zone events that had massive amounts of people.
They've done fine at the Safari Zone event,
and everyone's
that's
fine.
True. Chicago Fest was the first one to actually happen, so maybe, just maybe. Yeah. There was a little bit of a learning curve to it, and then they got it right after that. So now it's just they figured it out. Let's just do this moving forward.
Right. Yep. So and it's weird because, like this, I was in at like 10 o'clock, let's say 10 a.m. I was in the event, right? I probably logged in 3 times from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Like, not
That's
a joke.
So sad.
Not a joke.
And no one was even in the event yet. That's the thing. You had 100 people around you.
Right. Yep. And that's the thing. There's something technically messed up. Something, because here's the thing. If it was cell phone coverage, the next day I'd be able to get coverage by that fountain.
Yeah, but it still didn't happen.
It still did the same thing. You walk by Grant Park with nobody in it, boom, you don't have signal.
So I'm kind of glad we're talking about this. I definitely talked about it like the first time around, but I don't feel like I had the platform for a lot of people to hear it. I think a lot of people didn't believe this type of stuff because the larger YouTubers who were being sponsored by the event were trying to talk about the company in a positive light and the event in a positive light. And they're like, what are you talking about? The lines weren't bad. And it's like, you didn't wait in a line. What do you mean? Of course they weren't bad for you. And then people, just over exaggerated it. And they were trying to like basically save face with the company. And They were trying to just promote themselves versus thinking about the whole. The event was a disaster.
Oh,
Now, that doesn't
for
mean
sure.
that this event is going to be a disaster too,
Right.
but you have to expect that a lot of people are going to have that on their minds. And if Niantic doesn't deliver, it's going to be bad for them.
Definitely. And you're right. You're 100% right. If this fails somehow, because, you know, I've taken time off of work. I have money, you know, with an Airbnb. I've paid, you know, like there's a lot going into this. So if it fails, I'm going to feel betrayed this time. Some people feel betrayed already the first time, but as we can see, if they sold out in
Not
10 minutes.
right,
So,
right.
I mean, there's not that many salty people because I guarantee a lot of people right after Go Fest 2017, a lot of people were like, I'm never going, blah, blah, blah. And then here comes Go Fest 2018. They're like, hey, I want to buy tickets. So,
Right. And there was enough time period in between then to kind of like cool it down.
right.
A lot of updates were made in between then. You know, they're starting to do some like, I don't know what you call it, but not big updates, but just kind of like what do you call it? Just things that just make things easier.
Right.
Comfort, not comfort, but something like that. Like with them doing the multiple rare candies at once. That's such a minor update, but it's such a big deal.
Oh,
to
it's a
people
big
who
deal.
Actually play the game.
It's a huge deal. It's a huge deal. Sitting there clicking, you know, a million times, it just takes
So
forever.
I think people have faith. I think people have faith that this event is going to go well. I think people want this event to go well.
Yes.
And I'm one of those. I'm one of those people too. But I can't help but think from a little bit more of a critical standpoint, from like I guess a business perspective. What they did was just what happened at the event was unacceptable.
Oh,
and
definitely.
It was clear that they were not prepared for it. So if someone at Niantic is listening and they're saying like, you know, what could we do different at this event to make it successful? Some of them have already been done. Point number 1, have multiple entries. Check. We got that.
Yep.
Point number 2, spread the herd a little bit. They did that. A 2-day event. Check. Good to go. Third thing, please, for the love of God, sell water outside of the event. Please do that.
Yeah.
From a safety perspective.
No, you're right. You're right. People, and I was drinking water like crazy.
And you
like
still felt
crazy.
Like, wow.
And not to get like personal, but me and my friends were like, did you go to the bathroom at all? Because like we were talking about it after, and we're like, no, we literally were sweating out so much. I think I went to the bathroom once to go number 1. Other than that, I was drinking gallons of water to keep myself hydrated because it was literally just sweating off of me, right? So it's like funny, in like a 12-hour day, you don't even go to the bathroom because you're sweating it out of your pores so quickly.
Right.
And you're just drinking gallons and gallons of water just to keep hydrated.
And see, you were, but see, like for myself, for instance, I didn't even know if I was going to get to go to the event. So you can bet I'm not showing up with, you know, 5 bottles of water.
Right.
If I can't go, I'm just going to turn around and go do something else.
Right.
And so I was not prepared, and I think I suffered it a little bit. Like it was tough. So
I bet.
I just imagined thousands of people just not ready for it. There was like no coverage. Now, I think on your side there were trees along the edge of the park, which probably helped a lot. But out on the other side, general admission, it was just an open, and not just an open field. It was open concrete.
Right. No, the side that I was on was still, I mean, the trees were really high up. It didn't really provide shade. I'll be honest with you. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it would or
No,
not.
it didn't, because the trees were really tall and the sun was just like right on us. So it wasn't really doing much in the way of shade. So
it was rough. So I guess for yourself, if you're trying to be prepared, a little bit of a list that I would recommend is water. Maybe you could even bring like a Camelback where you've got a backpack that has like the water slot in it. That'd be perfect. And I saw a couple people with that. I really like that. If you are a YouTuber, here's the thing. They put last year you couldn't have cameras, but they didn't care if you had cameras at the actual event. They just didn't want tripods. So if you have some type of tripod or something, just ditch it. Just go straight up camera. Totally recommend that. Sunscreen is a big deal.
Oh, sunscreen too. Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
You know, it's funny you're talking about that. Last year, I didn't have, I recorded the entire thing, and that video turned out great, but I recorded the whole thing with just my camera, which wasn't the funnest thing, but then when I got in, I saw a bunch of people snuck in selfie sticks, and I'm like, no! So like this year, I'm totally buying like a $10 selfie stick and trying to bring it
Oh
in.
yeah, because then if you lose it, who cares?
Right.
Or if they say like, nope, can't bring that in, that's
Yeah,
fine.
just throw it out. I'll be like, fine, $10. Whatever.
Man,
There's no way I'm getting rid of my Joby,
right. There's
with
no
the
point.
with
Well,
the
dude, get this. So
yeah,
this is kind of a funny story.
right.
I had bought my camera and I had a mini tripod on it.
Yeah.
And not only did I have that, but I had like my recording backpack. So I just had a bunch of stuff in there that I wasn't even using, but I had it on me, including like a metal tripod that was like it's human height. And I wasn't using it or anything, but they told me, you're going to have to throw that away, sir. And I was like, no, I am not going to throw this away. I'm like, I have a place where I can just put it. And they're like, no, we're not letting anyone leave anything anywhere. And I was just like, so I can't leave it outside and you're telling me I can't bring it in, so I have to throw it away. And I was like, yeah, that's not happening. So I just like walked away and went and hid it underneath a fence and just said, if someone takes it, I can't really do anything about it. But maybe, just maybe, at least this way I can turn around and get it. And luckily it ended up being there.
Right.
So I got it back, but
yeah, I get, yeah. So like, yeah, I have like the same selfie stick that like Casey Neistat uses and has a level on it. And it was like $70-$80. So there's like no way
you don't want to ditch that.
I am ditching that thing. Like I will not bring that with me just in case, but I'm going to try I'm going to try to bring like a small selfie stick so I can at least try to record something and try to get away with it, bringing it in.
And by the way, now I know this sounds crazy being a YouTuber, but
right.
I'm not going to really record the event. Not going to lie.
Based on your content, I'm not surprised.
There's no point.
Yeah.
There is literally no point. And you know what's kind of cool? I get to visit with other people.
Right.
I get to I guess in some ways, if you're thinking about from a business perspective, I get to get my name out with other people, but I get to just enjoy the event. And that's something that last year I was trying to record it. I was trying to do all these things. And then I even like brought my computer and set it up, brought a microphone, did all that stuff to actually record after the event. I'm not doing that this year. I'm just there to have fun. If something new comes out, I'll record it on my phone, but I'll just edit it later. I want to enjoy this event. I want to get to meet a lot of people. I want to help other people if I can. And so for me, that's my goal. That's kind of like my plan that I have.
Yeah, I can't say that I can't. I'm definitely recording 100%.
No, that's fine.
But
that's fine.
My mistake last year was I recorded, and the people that were with me, if you're watching this right now, you know exactly what I did. I recorded a bunch of stuff. I was so eager to get it out that
did what? You went home. You edited.
No. I stayed that Sunday. Before going out and raiding, I wasted like 2/3 of a day editing and putting out a video when I could have been playing. So now in retrospect, I go, no.
It's just not worth it, is it? I got 200 extra views or 300 extra views or whatever off of this video. And it's like, it's not worth it.
It's not
worth missing this experience just to put out a
exactly.
video.
And I learned that the hard way. Now this year,
I did too.
I'm not recording anything. I'm going to record a bunch of stuff,
but you're not going to edit.
Yeah, I'm not editing a thing because why? I'm not going to edit anything until I get back home and I can get back to my desk and put the content together. And at most I'll put like day 1 or day 2 or day. Last time I vlogged the entire thing, the entire trip.
Right.
From start to finish, which was awesome. It was a good time.
But you didn't want to make just one video because that would have been kind of hard to do.
And if you haven't seen that, playlist is going to pop up on the screen right now. Check it out. Check out last year's, entire adventure, which is really cool. But it's fun to do that. But I think I might try to throw in live streams here or there.
I'm going to. Okay. I actually was just thinking about that.
Right.
I'm not going to record it, but I'll totally live stream it for an hour or so.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
To have people pop in.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of live streaming, if you are a YouTuber and you're thinking that this event is a big opportunity, there's gonna be a lot of people there. What I would recommend to you is a lot of the people who are watching videos about Pokemon Go are actually there. So they're not going to be watching it as much as you think they are during the event and stuff.
Right.
And what I would tell you is set up a live stream. If you need to save up some data or do whatever you have to do, go ahead and set you a thumbnail, have it ready to go before the event starts. And during the event, just throw up a live stream. It is effective. It works. Maybe people remember this. Maybe people don't. Maybe people know who she is. But Sparky Joy has around 17,000 subscribers or so.
Right. Yep. Yes.
And so just a couple thousand more than me. But what a lot of people don't know, maybe they remember it. I swear she grew at 10,000 subscribers
Yes.
in 2 days
Yes.
because of this event. No one could live stream it. No one could get logged in.
Right.
She did. And
Yeah.
guess what? She didn't even really like do it in the event. She was just outside it.
Yep. You know what's
And people loved it.
speaking of, you know what's funny? I literally saw her streaming.
I did too.
I saw her streaming in line. She was right next to me. Pretty much for the entire time. And I was like, nah, I'm gonna vlog. I don't feel like I should have live streamed. What the hell? Like, I definitely
That was insane. Like,
should have
no
live
joke,
streamed.
for someone in the Pokemon Go community to grow 10,000 subscribers
Right.
in a 2-day period
Is huge. It's gigantic.
that only happened literally when the game came out.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's how extreme it is. So to have this happen, you know, more than a year after the event or the game comes out, absolutely impressive. So I'm telling you, if you are a YouTuber, don't go with the vlog style of it. Maybe just for this, or if you're gonna do it, don't beat yourself up about going and recording it instantly. Just edit it later. Have fun at the event. That's the number one thing.
Yes.
Have fun.
Yep.
Enjoy your time with your friends. Enjoy the time with people around you who, you know, are clearly interested in the same thing you are. I mean, I would prioritize all those things. I made the mistake last year of not doing that. Hybrid made the mistake last year of not doing that.
Right.
And it's just not worth it.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I could go back in time, I would have that Sunday. I would have totally raided with all my friends, and I chose to stay back and sit at a Dunkin' Donuts to try
thing of making the sacrifices and doing everything I need to do to move on. And then it doesn't even work out. But that's just how YouTube is, anyways.
Right.
So we're getting into a little bit of a niche conversation of it, but I just want to say, thank you so much for having me on the channel. Definitely enjoyed talking.
Yes.
We're going to be at the event. I do plan on being at the event. Hopefully nothing comes up. You never know. But we're going to be, definitely hanging out together. I'll be live streaming a little bit of the event. We're going to have a lot of fun. So if you end up seeing us, I think I'm going to get a shirt made that'll say like FLW videos on it so people can actually know who I am, since I'm hardly ever on screen. But I'll be there. And
I think I'm going to wear my shirt too. But I think I'm going to wear my shirt too. I was thinking, it's another discussion, but I was trying to
we can talk afterwards.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you so much, FLW Videos, aka Famous, for joining me on this podcast. This is a good one. This is a very good one. Good discussion. We had a lot of good ideas, and make sure you check out his channel. Link will be in the description below. That's it. And all right, guys, that is going to do it for the podcast. Make sure you check out FLW Videos. Link is down there, as well as J. Kim. Link is down there as well. And that's going to do it, guys. Let me know if you enjoyed this podcast. It's definitely something different. I want to keep doing this, so, your input is very valuable. Leave a comment down below. Leave a comment saying just Mongoose in the comments if you made it to the end of the video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.